In the animal kingdom, some behaviors are so clever, so intricate, they make you rethink everything you thought you knew. We see them every day, those furry-tailed acrobats in our parks and backyards, relentlessly gathering food. But behind that twitching nose and those busy little paws is a mind of shocking sophistication, a mind capable of strategy, deception, and what can only be described as psychological warfare. You see that squirrel in your yard burying a nut. What if I told you it might be putting on a show? It could be going through the whole elaborate process, digging a hole, pushing the dirt back, patting it down, all while the nut is still tucked away in its mouth. That's right. That squirrel is a master of deception, and its targets are the other animals watching. What you're seeing isn't just a quirky habit. It's a high-stakes game of espionage, and today, we're going behind enemy lines to see how deep this operation really goes. For a squirrel, life is all about resource management. Winter is always coming, and that means preparing for a time when food is scarce. The mission is simple but critical: gather and secure enough food to survive. In the frenzy of late summer and fall, a single mature gray squirrel might hide hundreds or even thousands of nuts. But this isn't just about stocking a pantry. The world is full of rival operatives. The biggest threat? Theft. Thievery is rampant in the squirrel world, from other squirrels to opportunistic birds like blue jays. Some estimates suggest a squirrel can lose a substantial portion of its winter supply, sometimes 25% or more, to these thieves. With stakes this high, just hiding your food isn't enough. You have to outsmart the competition. This immense pressure has forged a set of behaviors so advanced, they look like they were pulled straight from a spy thriller. Before a squirrel can deceive, it needs a strategy. Unlike their red squirrel cousins, who are larder hoarders and keep all their food in one spot, the eastern gray squirrel is a scatter hoarder. This is the core of their entire security system. Instead of one big treasure chest, they create hundreds or thousands of tiny, individual caches spread across a wide territory, which can span up to 7 acres. Think of it less like a bank vault and more like a distributed network of secret safe deposit boxes. The logic is brutally effective. If a thief finds one cache, the loss is tiny. Most of the squirrel's winter supply is still safe. It's a brilliant strategy for managing risk, making it nearly impossible for a rival to wipe out their entire food source at once. But this creates a new problem. How do you guard thousands of locations at once? You can't. This is where the squirrel's genius for deception really kicks in. If you can't physically guard your assets, you have to guard the information about where they are. And that requires a whole new level of tactical cunning. This brings us to the crown jewel of squirrel espionage, a behavior that scientists call deceptive caching. It's a behavior that puts squirrels in the company of other highly intelligent animals, like primates and crows, known for similar tactics. Picture this. A squirrel has a valuable nut, but senses it's being watched. An enemy operative, another squirrel, or a prying blue jay has eyes on the prize. So the squirrel starts a decoy operation. It finds a spot, digs with dramatic flair, and meticulously goes through all the motions of burying the nut. It pushes the dirt back, pats it down, and even covers the spot with leaves, just like a real burial. But the whole performance is a sham. The nut never left its mouth. After the show is over, leaving behind a trail of bad intel, the squirrel will calmly move on, sometimes repeating the fake-out several times. Only when it's sure the observer has been thrown off the scent will it go to a truly secret spot to bury its prize. This isn't just instinct, it's a flexible strategy. Studies show that gray squirrels are more likely to engage in this behavior when they know other squirrels are nearby. They assess the threat and deploy counter-surveillance tactics, and it's remarkably effective at fooling would-be thieves. The fake burial is their signature move, but it's not the only tool in their espionage kit. The life of a squirrel operative is one of constant adaptation. For instance, if a squirrel suspects one of its caches has been found, it doesn't just cut its losses. It initiates a relocation protocol. It will dig up the nut and move it to a new, more secure safe house. In areas with lots of squirrels and a higher risk of theft, this relocation happens more often. Their behavior changes in other subtle ways too. When potential thieves are around, squirrels don't just use decoys. They get more cautious. They might space their real caches farther apart or bury them with their backs to the observer to hide the exact spot. They may even choose to hide nuts in seemingly riskier places, like under bushes or near areas with lots of human activity, possibly calculating that fewer rivals will dare to search there. This constant adjustment is an active form of counterintelligence, demonstrating a remarkable flexibility in their thinking. Executing these complex missions requires serious brain power, and squirrels, it turns out, are cognitive powerhouses. First, there's their phenomenal spatial memory. They aren't just burying thousands of nuts and hoping for the best. They're building a detailed mental map of their territory, using landmarks to triangulate the positions of their hundreds of caches. But it's more than just a good memory, it's an organized one. Research suggests they use a mnemonic technique called spatial chunking. This means they don't just remember individual spots. They often group their buried nuts by type. So, all the almonds might go in one area, while the walnuts are stashed in another. It's a bit like how we organize a grocery list, and it makes remembering thousands of items much more manageable. Now, in some food-storing birds, the part of the brain for memory, the hippocampus, actually expands during the caching season. While early studies didn't find this in squirrels, some newer research suggests there might be seasonal plasticity in their brains too. They are also excellent assessors of value. A squirrel will inspect a nut, and the more valuable ones get the VIP treatment, carried farther away and buried with more care. They are constantly making calculated decisions, weighing the value of the asset against the risk of theft. It's clear there's so much more going on in a squirrel's mind than we give them credit for. It really makes you wonder what other secrets the animals in our own backyards are hiding. If you've ever seen a squirrel do something surprisingly clever, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. From creating vast, distributed networks of supplies to deploying elaborate, theatrical deceptions, the squirrel is a master of survival strategy. They aren't just cute, fuzzy creatures. They are tiny, tactical operatives in a daily high-stakes game of espionage. They assess threats, create decoys, manage complex information, and make calculated decisions, all to protect their precious cargo. Their actions are a powerful reminder that intelligence exists all across the animal kingdom, often in the most unexpected places. So, the next time you see a squirrel frantically digging in your lawn, take a moment. You might not be watching a simple animal burying its food. You might just be witnessing a master spy at work, making sure that only they know where the nuts are buried.